Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. This was actually my first year on YouTube. I started back in May sometime, and I really just wanted to make it for 250 videos for the year. So this is it. This is the 50th video. I hope that you'll enjoy it. So this reading is another timeless reading that's for somebody out there. My intention is that it will find the person or people it's meant for and at the right time. It's definitely not for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges is not resonating with you, it's probably not for you. You can still watch the whole reading because it's always an intention of mine that anyone who is drawn to one of my readings will gain something from it, whether that's an insight, a bit of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different perspective. So if you happen to have found yourself here at this video, I think you are meant to be here. All right then, we'll now do our love pause and then get on with the reading. So the love pause is where we pause the video and we send love out into the universe. If you prefer, you can do a little Ho'oponopono prayer here by saying the 4 sentences: thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. Thanks to everyone who does do this. The time to pause is now and the reading will commence on the next slide. And here we are with the spread for this reading. If you're interested in the decks I've used, they will be listed in the description box. At the bottom of the deck here we have the Judgment card, which is the card of spiritual awakening. So this card is a call to live in authenticity, according to the soul's truth. So it's a call to live a soul-aligned life. The corpse in the card is symbolic of the death of the egoic existence, the death of the false ego identity. The soul is liberated through this process. Now this card relates to Pluto, and I always see this as a choice we have to make for ourselves. So our soul is being called to reflect on the past and determine what the future will be. Now this card precedes the World card in the Major Arcana, so the Fool's journey is almost complete at this point. The Fool by this point has already experienced a lot and is now being asked to decide if they want to keep repeating the patterns and cycles of the past. The World card is about completion, unity, harmony and balance. So really, once the Fool navigates the Judgment stage, they have reached a stage of profound spiritual wisdom. Now the imagery on this card is quite graphic and it shows a violent scene, which is a bit different to the traditional Judgment card. So the false ego that we're seeing here, the identity, it's been set on fire and it's been killed by all these arrows that are raining down on it. So I'm getting Death card vibes from this card, but also Tower card vibes from this card. And overall, I do just feel like a lot has happened to this person. It actually feels so extreme that I feel like perhaps spiritual liberation was the only option they really had, because their external circumstances were just dreadful. And I'm actually thinking of the fact that we currently have an opposition between Pluto and Mars happening in the signs of Aquarius and Leo, because those planets do come to mind when we're talking about these particular energies: Judgment, Death and Tower card energies. It is interesting to look at the spread because the other thing that was quite obvious from the start was we have the Lovers card in the past position and then the 3 of Cups card in the future position, and both cards seem to show 3 friends who are celebrating together. But when you take a closer look at the Lovers card, it's telling a different story. So one of the friends in this Lovers card has been influenced by the snake, and I consider that to be devil energy. So the snake has wrapped itself around her, and she also has this ashen complexion, which makes me feel like the devil has well and truly snared this person. It feels like the complexion is indicating that this person's energy has been poisoned by this influence. And I'm thinking back to the violence in that Judgment card, and so it's making me feel like this person was betrayed by someone in their inner circle, someone they trusted. And that person just wanted to take them down and probably went to extreme measures to do that because of, the arrows and the fire. So that's not good. But the other thing that is clear is that the expressions on the faces of the friends in the Lovers card are not actually happy expressions. And by contrast, when you look at the 3 of Cups cards, you see friends who are genuinely happy. So based on the image on the Judgment card, it seems like this person that was under the influence of the devil has perhaps succeeded in taking this person down, or at least it looks that way. But because that was the Judgment card, it's perhaps not the victory they might have thought they were going to have. So if their desire was to crush this person, or crush this person's spirit, they actually have done something that led to something else happening, and that is that this person's spirit has become liberated as a result of this attack, basically. So it feels to me like the only death they caused was the death of this person's false identity, and the only tower that they caused to collapse was this person's false identity collapsing. So their spirit has actually been liberated, and I suspect that may not have been the desired outcome at all. Now, in terms of the Lovers card itself, it is a Gemini card, and it is about making heart-based, love-based decisions and choices. So the traditional Lovers card image is a scene from the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, and there's an angel watching over them, and the sun is shining brightly over this beautiful garden. The snake is in the fruit tree in the background in that card. And I think the point that traditional image makes is that it is possible to have an idyllic experience of life if everyone is operating from their heart and acting in integrity. The snake is, in that card, the devil energy that lurks in the background and looks for an opportunity to bring darkness into a beautiful situation. But really, it can only influence people if they allow it. The image in this Lovers card here suggests that the devil managed to get in and influence someone in this circle of friendship. The card in the present position is the Page of Pentacles, which is about someone who is working on a new venture that they wish to see succeed. So this is Earth sign energy, but I tend to see it as Virgo. I'm looking at the image here, and we see someone with horns in a beautiful place with an apple tree in the background, and the person has cut an apple in half to show it off. Now, the Page of Pentacles isn't normally a bad card, but I'm thinking about how a lot... Sorry, I just had to pause the video for a minute. My children were getting a bit crazy. But the Page of Pentacles isn't normally a bad card, but a lot of this imagery does relate to that Garden of Eden kind of scene as well, because in the traditional devil card image, the people who are ensnared by the devil, they actually start to grow horns themselves, and that's an indication that they become more devil-like the more they are controlled by the devil. So that's making me feel like this Page of Pentacles person is the one who was influenced by the devil. And there's even a little bit of a hell feel to this card, because there's this fiery glow in the background of this card. Anyway, this person looks like they're celebrating having control of the beautiful garden. They have the flowers and they have the fruit, and they're showing it off. So maybe this was the goal all along, for this one person to enjoy all the fruits and flowers without sharing them with the others. So that speaks of greed as the motivation. And I'm actually wondering if that fiery glow that's in the background might actually be a sign that this beautiful garden will eventually be consumed by these darker energies. And that would make sense, because obviously if you had a beautiful garden and then you had fire entering the garden, it's ultimately going to destroy the garden. So maybe this is the card in the present. Maybe at this present point in time, this person is happy that they've got control of this garden, but they may be not seeing that it's not going to last. But anyway, the last card here is the Three of Cups, which is showing a totally different scene. So it's not the garden with the fruit and the flowers. This is a scene of three friends who are in water together. And they're all happy, as I said before. So this is a card showing genuine friendship. It's in the future position. So water is the element of emotion, and that suggests a deep emotional connection between these friends. There's just the one shell in the image, and the friends are all sharing it. They're happy to share it. So it's definitely a very different energy to the old energy. The first oracle card that came out featured the Dragon Rider, and it was titled Strength. Now that guided me to the other oracle cards, which I chose from a dragon deck and from a Dragon Rider deck. So strength is Leo energy, and I love that it showed up in this spread, because the devil cannot influence the strong. So strong people are able to resist temptation and attempts to pull them off course. They can stay on their true path and remain in integrity. So this card is also giving me the sense of freedom, independence, and fearlessness. So this is about being strong enough to hold your own. So I feel like this person who was attacked in this storyline, they were strong, and that is why they've been able to survive this experience. The dragon rider imagery suggests mastery because they have the respect of this dragon. So very similar to the strength card in the traditional tarot, except it's a woman and a lion on that card. But there's respect there. The lion respects the woman. So mastery also fits with someone who has navigated their way through all the challenging stages of the major arcana and is now at the judgment stage, about to reach the point of completion with the world card. So at this point, they're relatively resilient, even if they're facing challenges in the external world. And the only thing that might derail them is if they choose to let external things bother them and knock them off balance. But really, at this point, they know that they can choose their response to the things life throws at them. And I guess that's where the mastery comes in. If someone can say, even if my house burns down, I know I'll be okay. Or even if my marriage ends, I know I'll be okay. Or even if I lose my job tomorrow, I know I'll be okay. Well, they actually are going to be okay. And it's always because of the fact that they're going to choose to be okay rather than choosing to crumble. So they will demonstrate their strength and their mastery when the challenges happen. The card that came out from the next oracle deck was the orange dragon. And I thought that was quite awesome because the dragon in the first card was also orange. But the orange dragon brings soul families and communities together. And it has the message, spread belonging, warmth and oneness. Bring people together everywhere. That actually fits really well with the Three of Cups energy that is in their future position. Because those three characters in that card, they look like a soul family. I guess if this was the dragon that was drawn to this person, then it will be helping them find their soul family too. The last oracle card is from the Dragon Rider's Oracle. I'm seeing the ocean in the background and it's reminding me again of the watery energy of the Three of Cups. This card features the goddess Venus with her blue dragon. Now Venus is obviously the goddess of love, and that's reminding me of the Lover's card, which is about operating from the heart. The message on this card is, the beauty of love lies in its wildness. Be daring and embark upon journeys with your dragon. So that sense of freedom, independence and fearlessness comes through again with this message. The dragon rider in this storyline is being told to enjoy their freedom and to have the adventures that they wish to have. The words, the beauty of love lies in its wildness, is making me think that love without freedom is a trap. And it isn't beautiful. So this dragon rider's dragon is the orange dragon that relates to bringing soul families and communities together. So I think it's fair to say that the adventures that this dragon rider will have with their dragon will also lead to new connections with like-minded individuals and communities. And that's what's going to take them to the Three of Cups experience in the future. I'm thinking back to the joyless expressions on the faces in the Lover's card, and I'm just getting obligation from that. So those people weren't real friends. They were sort of brought together by their circumstances. There wasn't real joy in those connections because they weren't genuine soulmate connections. They were only together because they felt they needed to be together. And I also just got Adam and Eve, like their relationship was pretty much something that was forced on them as well because their circumstances were such that they were the only man and the only woman in the Garden of Eden. If, on the other hand, they'd both had other options and they'd chosen to be a couple because they felt something special between them, then we could say that they had a soulmate connection. And that also makes me think of the story of Lilith being the first woman and fleeing the Garden of Eden so she could be free and not under Adam's control. So I feel like these ideas coming into my head are making me think about the importance of freedom in relationships. So soulmates, real soulmates, don't need external circumstances to keep them together. Their emotional connection means that they enjoy being together. They love being in each other's company. And that's why the Three of Cups card has the joyful expressions on the faces of those involved. They are loving the fact that they are together. So I think I'm getting to the end here. It has felt like a strange kind of reading, but I suppose what this has been about, it's been talking about the kinds of connections we have with others. The connections that we feel obliged to be part of, even when they aren't aligned connections, well, those really aren't the connections that will bring happiness. The right connections are the ones where there is alignment, and that means that you actually like each other and share the same values. So I chose my little Chinese dragon to put in this image. Now, I bought this about 20 years ago, so it's been in my life quite a while. And well, the story of this dragon is that the dragon is holding the pearl of wisdom, and it got this pearl through going through a long and arduous journey. So I guess it is very much like the fool's journey now that I think about it. I never made that connection years ago because I wasn't into tarot then. But yeah, this is exactly the same thing. So the prize that's gained at the end of the journey is the pearl of wisdom. So this reading is offering us some wisdom, and that is to always look for aligned connections. And thinking back to the toxic energies in this reading, maybe that kind of situation where someone is betrayed by a so-called friend wouldn't even be possible if people did walk away from connections that weren't aligning at a much earlier point in the storyline. So if you disengaged as soon as you realized that it wasn't an aligned connection, you wouldn't get anywhere near discovering how horrible someone can be. So as an example, if you were dating someone and you decided they weren't for you the very first time they said or did something that struck you as cruel or disrespectful, and then you just decided you weren't going to see them again, well, then you would have actually dodged the experience of the marriage and the divorce where they showed you exactly how nasty they could be. So unfortunately for us, we can tend to tolerate things and forgive things and give people second chances and the benefit of the doubt, and so on it goes. And all of that can mean we're allowing these relationships to continue to grow when they really aren't the right connections at all. So I'm thinking of Maya Angelou's words, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. That's very wise, and so I feel like this reading is really saying to pay attention to the people who are in our lives and the people who enter our lives, and to be really discerning about who is allowed to stay in our lives. So we don't actually have to be so nice that we unconditionally accept everyone in our lives. We should actually be honoring ourselves by acknowledging that some people are not right for us, and they probably aren't good for us either. So if we don't like the way some people are, the wise thing to do is to release them and to keep moving on. And hopefully along the way we will meet people who never give us a reason not to like them or like being around them. And those people would be the soulmates or soul tribe kind of people. So this is a New Year's Eve reading. So I'm seeing this as the wisdom Spirit wants us to take forth into 2025 and beyond. We are now in the era of Pluto in Aquarius, and Aquarius is the sign that relates to the 11th house. So one of the important aspects the 11th house pertains to is social groups and communities. So I can definitely see why we're being asked to be more discerning. So I think it's going to be important to choose the groups and communities that genuinely align with who you are, and to not feel bad if you have to let some others go because they're not the communities that you want to be part of anymore. All right, so here we are at the end. It's New Year's Eve, so I hope you will all have a really great night, and I hope that 2025 is an amazing year for you. As I mentioned before, the decks I used today are listed in the description box, and that's true for all the videos I've done. I actually went through and updated all my old ones as well. So some of the decks that I've listed will have Amazon links next to them. You can use these links to check the decks out, but they're also affiliate links, which means that if you click on the link and then purchase the deck, I could earn a small commission for that deck purchase. The link should take you to the most appropriate site for where you live, and from your perspective, the affiliate link has no impact on what you will pay or how things get shipped to you. The link's only valid for 24 hours, so if you want to think about it for a while, you can just add the item to your cart while you think about it, because then the link continues to be valid. If you change your mind about the deck, obviously, then you can remove it from your cart. And if you are wanting to use the links I'm providing, there is some extra information in the description box, so please have a look at that as well. Now, if you're still watching the video, thank you so much for being here and for watching this, my 50th video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, or leaving a comment. And yeah, so I can't believe I've finished or got through to the end of the first year on YouTube. I hope it will be a good year next year. And if you're already subscribed, I should say thanks so much for your ongoing support, and hopefully I'll see you all in some 2025 videos. Take care. Bye.